This will be several uploads, and it's advanced surface grinding. It's not meant for beginning surface grinders. My disclaimer is this is in a shop I go up and I mentor. And so that's why the mess. I have to go in and do things on a couple days as fast as I can. But as far as burning of the workpiece, especially when grinding high precision parts such as small mold components, is first thing a person will do, and this took me a long time to figure this out, that the first thing that they're going to do, okay, I'm now moving in for the kill. I've got 6/10 left. Okay, I got 6/10 left. Now I'm going to take them all off. Now I'm going to put on the real wheel for finishing. And the first thing they'll do is put on a big wheel, which is going to burn the parts, and it's going to throw the parts off the chuck and all kinds of stuff. It's going to expand the parts up into the wheel and throw them off and create burn marks and this, that, the other thing. So the first thing to do is don't use a big wheel like this. You want to avoid them. You want to avoid them. If anything, you want to get used wheels off of eBay that are smaller. Also, the other thing is have a variable speed drive on the grinder, because you need to be able to control the speed of that wheel. It's the same as milling. It's the same as milling, that you don't put in a 1/4-inch cutter and run it the same as a 1-inch cutter. So people will put on this huge wheel. Well, now I'm going to dress it perfectly. I'm going to do everything, and I'm going to move in for the kill. First thing they do is they get burn marks. And then they wonder why, well, the burn marks look like they go in one direction, but not the opposite direction. That's because the burn marks are appearing when you're conventional cutting, but they're not there when you're climb cutting. Because when you're conventional cutting, when you're running the table, as if conventional cutting, it expands up the part into the wheel. And it's this large wheel like this, you'll get melted metal on there, and you're just scrubbing and all kinds of problems. Okay, when you come back this way, this is a Herrig 612, but when you come back this way, you don't get the burn marks. That's because you're now climb cutting. So you don't get the burn marks. So they look at the parts and wonder, why do I get these brown burn marks going one way, and then they're not there, and now they reappear? That's because with the surface grinder, it's not like CNC cutting with, a cutter. No, you're going back and forth, back and forth. It's very hard to control that. Well, okay, I'm only going to conventional cut this way, and then feed back off, and then keep doing that. And so you go back and forth, and so you get a series of burn marks where the melted metal from too fast of a wheel. I mean, look at the size of this wheel. First of all, you have two things: that it's operating much faster of surface feed per minute. It's much faster. Plus, you have a huge interface that's burning the material, because you can't outrace it. You can't outrace it. In some conditions, like hydraulic grinder, you can with coolant and stuff like that. And so that's the first thing on the burning of the workpiece. If you want to get away from it, do not put on a wheel like this to finish. No, they're to be avoided. There's, that's the most common mistake. Another thing about this photo that I'm going to show, there were so many things that came together today in the shop that I actually took pictures, because it was a rare thing where everything came together. Okay, so first thing is this diamond here, this diamond dresser is a thing of the past. They're not used anymore. They're not used anymore. This here. They can be gotten for a couple of bucks a piece, and they have thousands of diamonds on them. Okay, a single point diamond like this gets burned up in record time. It cuts a taper on the wheel because it gets you start out with a nice fresh diamond, it's going to get burned up when you go from one side to the other. It's going to get burned up. It will cut a taper on the wheel. So here's the way to go. Now this here, the reason I laid that wheel there is that's a diamond wheel, and that is connected with why you have to have a variable speed drive on the wheel. You have to be able to control it, the RPM, which would be much slower than the motor. The high speed motor is only one speed. You have to be able to control this just like you would on a Bridgeport with a cutter. So like this diamond wheel here, diamonds get burned up just like this, and so it does with this. And so you have to be able to control the speed of that wheel. Diamond wheels like this, there's several here, several big diamond wheels. They have to be running much slower to address the wheel. These small cutters here would be more like for finishing of high precision parts. These are 46s. You know, you might want to go 60 for high precision parts if you need to keep straight corners, sharp corners, which generally isn't needed to begin with. So that absolutely, I want to get this across. See this big? This is like an 8-inch wheel. So the first thing that people will do, okay, I'm moving in for the kill. I'm moving in for the kill. And they'll put on a gigantic wheel, and then they wonder why the parts burn and get thrown off the chuck. So let's see. Let's go to the next photo. Remember this diamond here, this dresser. That's the way to go, not this shit. It's a thing of the past. Now, a single point diamond you do have to use in certain cases, like for side wheeling, to dress off the side of the wheel for balancing this, that, the other thing. You do have to use them, or for doing radiuses and stuff like that. But other than those cases, this should not be used anymore by any advanced surface grinder. It's a thing of the past, thing of the past. There's a blue wheel, it's seated gel. Seated gel should be used only in rare cases. They should not even be in a shop like beginning machinists or grinders. They burn up the diamond in record time. They burn up the diamond in record time. For sharp corners in rare cases, where you're doing a lot of parts, you keep sharper corners faster, but even then it's not needed. Seated gel wheels, you know, I have no use for them. Very rare cases. This is the diamond that I was showing you. These are like $2-3 a piece. So I got a shitload of them, partner, when I realized what I had. Okay, you just stick them in anything, a little gripper or anything. This is a tiny little vise. This, from here to here, is not even 2 inches. There's the diamonds on these amazing things. There's the diamonds, thousands of diamonds. Thousands of diamonds. So you do dress slower with them. You do dress slower because you have thousands of sharp diamonds, and if you go over 10 thousandths or whatever, it doesn't need to be put in there level, because only one diamond theoretically leaves the surface, the dress surface on the wheel. Theoretically, only one diamond does. You can put it in there crooked, do whatever you goddamn want. Feed across, and you're good to go. Now, these, because of so many perfect diamonds that last forever, that you don't want to feed forward and feed back, because it will helix. It will helix the wheel because the diamonds are so sharp. It will put a helix on. It will knurl the wheel. It will put a double helix on it. You want to have a single helix. So you don't want to feed across and then feed back, because you're going to knurl the wheel, and that's how your surface will look. Most of the time it doesn't matter. Also, these diamonds crawl over the edge. They crawl over the edge. You can put that goddamn thing in there anyway. I mean, I would never go back to the old school single point diamond, except for when it's needed. Am I back at the beginning? I'll have to do multiple uploads, because there's so much info in there that it would wear people down. They wouldn't be able to make it through the video.